And I am live. Sweet. I was supposed to be doing the Next Gen podcast with Mads and Jamie, but Mads had a bit of an emergency. Jamie had a trying day himself, but I wasn't able to even put a link out on Twitter that I'm live. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Again, we are live. I shouldn't say we, it's just me. Trying to get this out on Twitter so maybe I can at least get somebody in the chat wanting to do a little games talk. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to OBS, which I can do this by going straight to Twitter, or I should just be able to copy the link and drop it in Twitter myself, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Crap. I suck at this stuff, guys. Hey. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm still live. That's something. Not everybody can even get that much of it done. Okay. Could switch to Legacy Events view, but nah, I like that view we got right there for now. Okay. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I'm having trouble figuring out what to click to get this bad boy out on Twitter. Sorry for the silence. I'm eliciting some help right now. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what I got here. I'm live and I don't have anybody on here because I wasn't prepared. I had OBS do an update on me and it kind of weirded everything out. I'm going to try to tweet the link right now. I didn't want to stop and then restart. So let's go. Tweet. There we go. Well, we'll see. That should do it. Yeah, this is going to be a boring little thing because I've had so much dead space while I'm trying to tweet this thing out. Yeah, crap. I tried tweeting it out and it went to Discord, not to, yeah, I don't want a bunch of people coming in Discord. I wanted them to go to the actual YouTube channel to listen to it. I am failing greatly at this. And I kind of lost my helper. He's not on anymore. Wait. It says it's not showing up on his feed, so maybe I'm not live. Huh. Okay. We're gonna check the phone, see what's going on. No, I'm live. Crap. Well, hmm. That's some weird stuff. Hey, it's all good though. Hey, I just seen the graphic god just arrived. Okay, that's in the chat. Oh, he's not popped up in my voice thing here. Yeah, I need some help, people. He's topping me something. All right, we got a couple people maybe showing up. Yep, graphic god I see is his mic appears to be muted, but we'll see if he shows up. Oh, he can't. He's got to drive his kid to work, so it's still just me. All right, let's get talking right now. All right, this was gonna be the Mads Gaming's next gen podcast, but like I said, Mads had a bit of emergency, so I just thought, you know what, I'll just go on my channel and talk a little bit over the last week. I'm still in Germany, by the way, having a great time, loving life, drinking some of that great beer on a daily basis. Ah, it's good too. Oh my, good food. Got a busy weekend starting tomorrow, going different places Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm here for 3 weeks, so there's been some downtime in the middle of these weeks where I'm just, at the house with the grandbaby, that's the real reason why I'm here anyway. Not to, I lived here back in the '80s. I've seen and done everything. Still thinking about maybe trying to go over to Paris for a day-night trip, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be all that important because I've been to Paris several times. But that's still to be decided. I've only got another 7 days here anyway as of today. I think I leave next Friday. I fly out. Or next Thursday, actually. I don't even know what day it is. I've been here for a while. And yeah. All right. Jay said he'll be back in 30. So cool. I can carry this baby by myself for 30 minutes. I do it all the time. Let me send him a quick message. Okay. Sent that out. So maybe J Dubs the Graphic God will be joining us in a little bit. And either way, it's all good. I got Jamie Moran's gonna tweet out that I'm on here live. I think from my phone, I'm going to try to tweet it out too. I think I failed miserably using Twitter on my Surface Pro. But let me turn the volume down on this so we don't get some kind of crazy double volume shit. I'm actually going to open the show up. Hey, there was Dirt Griggity. Tweeted it out for me. You the man. You the man. Thank you. So, cool. It's been tweeted out. I'm going to try to retweet it out. Maybe we'll get a few more people in here and chat. Hopefully we're going to have Graphic God coming back here in a minute. Anybody still in the chat? They're still there? How's my voice sound? Am I good? I'm, I got my blue snowball with me, but I've got it setting up on like a dresser, and I'm in like a fold-up chair thingy that you'd take like to a ball game or something. I'm in a bedroom where I'm staying at my son's house, apartment, whatever you want to call it. It's more of a house than an apartment. It's like 3 stories. It's pretty badass to be in Germany and have a 3-story house that full up bedroom with full bathroom, laundry room, and I guess you'd call it a guest bathroom, all on the bottom floor. Middle floor's got the kitchen, a living room area, a big patio that goes outside, and then upstairs has another little area, as well as another bedroom. It's pretty awesome. All right, enough about that anyway. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Except me, and I'm having a great time in Germany. But I've been tweeting out pictures here and there from it. Hey, you know who I DM'd? Whoa, y'all hearing that? I'm like knocking coins off. Dropping coins. Holy shit, that was a military challenge coin. And somebody or everybody actually had one also and started banging them on the table. And they all had it. I would owe everybody a drink. But if one fool didn't have his challenge coin, he'd be buying the drinks. Yeah, except those weren't a challenge coin. They were some Euro coins. That sounds so weird to say because when I was here, it was Deutschmarks or whatever. I miss those. I guess the Brits are back to pounds. Somebody had sent me a link to buy that Capcom joystick thing that's got, pre-built in bunch of Street Fighter games, and it's just shaped like Capcom's logo. But yeah, he would have had to ship it to the U.S. and it was on the British eBay, and yeah, it had the price listed as pounds, not euros. Interesting. I didn't realize they had switched yet. I thought there was like some kind of weird transition period for quite a while. I'll have to ask Jamie about that at some point and have him let me know what's up on that. Because I was just in England back on the 5th of October, actually on my birthday. I sat in Heathrow for half the day. Yeah, and they were still taking euros there. But that was, almost 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, things change quickly. Quickly they change. Anyway, I really want that crazy-ass Capcom home arcade thing they call it. But, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get that one. I've got all the minis, and I've got... The only thing bothers me on that one, I think it only goes through the CPS 1 games. I don't think it has any of the CPS 2, the better versions of the fighting games. Stuff that I guess got ported like to the Saturn and later to the Dreamcast. And very poor versions always ended up on the PlayStation 1 and 2. Yeah, they did. Don't even act like it wasn't true. But, again, we'll see. I don't like fighting games that much, yet I collect fight sticks. I got about maybe 15 over the years, including my favorite one, which is the Namco one that works with the PS1, 2, and 3. It's a shame they had to screw up the PS4 and not let it work on it. Yeah. Damn you, Sony. Damn you. How you going to go back compat? You're claiming, at least there's all kinds of people out on these YouTube gaming streets claiming. Somebody named Snowflake showed up. Pretty weird. Anyway, claiming that Sony's going to be 100% completely back compatible PS1, 2, 3, and 4 for the PS5. Now, yeah, that'd be awesome. Come on, let's be honest. I mean, Microsoft was cool that you can play OG Xbox games, but let's be honest, they only about 30 of them, and it's all emulation. And that's fine. They play great, and most of those are enhanced, so they look better, play better, and that's awesome too. But I don't know. Would you rather just be able to play every game that was out on the system and just actually have to own the disc and drop the disc in? Yeah, I don't see how Sony's going to do that either. The last time they did that was the PS3. And I've got one of the fat boy PS3s that play the PS1 games and PS2 games, and as well as, of course, all PS3 games. It's a beast. And yeah, Sony's last great console. And yes, I call the PS3 a great console just because in America, at least, it got stomped by the Xbox 360. I enjoyed the PS3 more because I could play PS1 and PS2 games. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. So weird. And then we jumped to this generation, and I've been on the Xbox bandwagon. Man, I'm like backing some losers. Wow. Yeah, always. Man, I love the Sega Saturn. Talk about backing a loser. It's my favorite console of all time, and yet, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. I did all right, but I had other consoles during the time. It wasn't like I ever just bought one and just played one console, because that seems kind of sad, lonely. There's a whole lot of PS4 people, though. That's all they do this gen is just PS4s, and that's why they're so vicious and quick to hate on Xbox guys. I think Xbox guys own everything. They just do. I don't know any Xbox guy that don't own other consoles, but very few ponies actually own other consoles. They think everything has to be handed to them. Oh, this whole controversy where, my God, Obsidian, when the fake news came out that there would be no PS4 enhanced version of the Outer Worlds. Holy crap. Internet damn near came to a grinding halt. I've never seen so much crybabies, cry, fear-mongering whiners just all over this about it. Yet there's been not a lot, but there's been a handful of games that were not Xbox One X enhanced. Whether it was Lazy Dubs or Sony was doing the marketing for that particular game, which I won't mention because I won't publicize anything that's crappy enough not to be Xbox One X enhanced. But anyway, nobody cared. Maybe a few Xbox guys thought it was pretty crappy of said developer not making an enhanced game. But trust me, they didn't blow up the internet. Sony and their pony plastic warriors, wow, blew up the internet, and it was all for nothing. It's enhanced for the PS4, or the PS4 Pro, excuse me. Thing is, even an enhanced game on the PS4 Pro is pathetic compared to Xbox One X games. Where you're getting, pure 4K goodness, 60 frames, even on big open world games now. You ain't getting that on the Pro. You're getting 1440p upscaled. Yeah, that's so sad. So sad. But you guys know I'm just fucking around, right? I'm just trying to piss off some ponies. The fear-mongering tops that constantly bang on Xbox and cry about this or that. There's a handful of them. And you know what? It's their right. It's the internet. It's YouTube. They can say whatever they want, do whatever they want. They look stupid and it's pathetic, but, more power to them. But anyway, Obsidian had done the right thing, of course. It's Pro enhanced. And I have a Pro, so I'm not really knocking on it either. It's a fine console. The fact that it's got VR is wonderful. I love VR. Microsoft should be embarrassed, 100% embarrassed for not doing VR this gen. If you would have taken that Xbox Connect, holy shit. And then they would have come up with a head mounted for your, oh, and just put a little bit better lenses than what the PlayStation VR has, and with that amazing camera to do the motion in games, holy smokes. They could have dominated VR. It would have been 10 times a better VR system than what the Pro has. But Microsoft, God bless them, you know what? They needed just games for the Xbox, period. And since VR isn't a big smash hit, it isn't like killing it or anything like that. Let's not get carried away. It's not. All right. It's so small in sales. It's not even niche. Okay, that's not niche. It's just a tiny thing, but that's what she said anyway. Well, this is going much better now. I hope if anybody watches this later, we don't lose them in that first, 10, 12 minutes where I was trying to tweet out that I'm on and getting other people invited in. That was a big old mess. Yeah, it was very unprofessional, but considering that I am unprofessional, it kind of all makes sense. So anybody that pops in now, like I said, I think we're going to have Graphic God in here in a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, all is good. All is good. Let's get back to it. Oh, Outer Worlds. My God, that looks amazing. You know, all day today and a lot of yesterday, I kept seeing people, what are you playing first? Modern Warfare or Outer Worlds. Both going to be amazing games. But here's the thing, in my opinion, and this is just opinion, I ain't throwing out there any of this crap as facts. I hate when people do that and they tweet out that this game is trash and this other game's better. And then, yeah, this is all just opinion. And in my opinion, first-person shooters are a dime a dozen. It is the most predominant top game out there, bar none. I mean, let's be honest, there's thousands of them. Most of them suck, but there are a handful of them that are actually amazing and people love to play them. We all know what they are, and they dominate gaming. So I could care less about that one. Eventually I will play it. I'll play the campaign. I'm not going online and getting my ass kicked because, I suck. But I love playing the campaign. But before I even think about that, I'm jumping into the Outer Worlds. Sci-fi RPG. Okay, that's special. It's very special. I mean, not a whole lot of those this gen. So, I'm very pumped about that. And you know what's still creeping up is that I had to drink a little bit of tea. I'm drinking iced tea, unsweetened, and no ice. My son and daughter-in-law's refrigerator's not big enough for them to. No ice, but it's nice and cold. It gets stuff really cold. I made it earlier and put it in a jug. There's a Popeyes on base, so there's been a few days where I just went and bought like a gallon of tea at the Popeyes on base. Yeah, in Germany on a U.S. military base is like living in a small U.S. city. Anything and everything you want. It's pretty cool. It was the same way when I was over here, there was much less, but there was still everything you would need. And it was still very much like a U.S. city. Besides the 3 years over here, I did 4 years down in Panama. Oh, hola, senoritas. I loved it being down there. Holy crap. White sand beaches, the blue water. Panama was 4 good years. Oh, yeah. I got 6+ years in Korea. Did my time across Asia. I do miss all the gaming related and electronics related stuff and being in Asia compared to other places. That was always pretty cool. But I've spent extensive time. Places like Thailand, Philippines. Been to Hong Kong a few times. Been to Japan several times. Much travels in my life. Now, the last few years, I ain't been nowhere. It's just work, home, work, home. It has sucked. It's been so nice being back in Germany on this trip to see the grandbaby. And again, that's why I'm here right now. I'm here to see my first grandson. That has been awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ignoring chat, and that's part of the reason why I'm on here. And wow, Jonazul, this is embarrassing. I cannot pronounce your name. Villegas, Johanzel. I do not know how to pronounce that. Anyway, thank you for saying thanks for your service. Dirt, you still on here? Yeah, I know you support Xbox guys. You're an all-around gamer, right? You play everything. You the man. Says I got 3 in chat. Hey, that's awesome. That was on the other night. I think I had 2, and that ended up being an awesome little mini podcast. It was just me talking with chat back and forth. Yeah, he's laughing because I can't pronounce his name. Where you from, man? Where's that at? Where you at? It looks Spanish, but I don't know. Johanzel. Yeah, that didn't come out very good either. All right, hopefully we'll tweet this out some more and try to get a few more people into the chat while we're moving on. Anyway, anybody else going to be playing Outer Worlds, or are you jumping right into Modern Warfare? And I'm not going to shit on Modern Warfare. It looks amazing, too. It looks like, with that updated engine or new engine, whatever they're calling it. Of course, isn't every year up until the Call of Duty game comes out, it's all about, this one's got it. This one's different. This one's going to be amazing. This is this. And then now it comes out and it's just Call of Duty. I mean, even the last one, because they were going to have their version of Call of Duty's version of PUBG, and people loved it when it first dropped, but I don't think a whole lot of people play that now yet. I've heard it's gotten good updates, and the few people that do play it seem to like it. But no campaign, no, I wouldn't download it. I'm like, nope, I'm out this year. And I've probably got maybe 10, maybe 12 Call of Duties, all for the campaigns. I don't ever do multiplayer on them, but I never minded paying full price for them just to get the campaigns. And I'll do the same thing no, I did not always pay full price for those. Some of those times I buy them the next year when the next Call of Duty's coming out, and then I buy the old one for $30 or $20 and just get it for the campaign. I have done that. I bought a couple of them day one, but the majority I've bought 6 months to a year later. I'm not all about being the first to play a game on what's the latest and greatest. A good game is a good game, whether you get it now or then. I mean, I still play games on my Saturn. Yeah, I'm a loser, but I love it. The Saturn is just, that thing was so beastly on 2D arcade games. Holy crap. Just love it. Still to this day. We're going to come back to the Saturn when J-Dubs gets here. He said about 30, so that was, he should be showing up here in about another 10, 15 minutes. Here we go. Shinzo Elite. I see you all the time, brother. All the time in all kinds of chats. That's cool. I like that. I like chatting with people that are in other chats because I'm in a lot of them. Of course, here lately, I haven't been in as many because I've been working. I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and sleep all day. So I don't catch as many podcasts live as I used to. Hopefully, once I get back in the winter months, I'll be getting 3 and 4 day breaks. So I'll catch like Boom's Friday show. I'm not sure about Mooch's show. I like Mooch. He's entertaining. But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to watch that podcast now because of, everybody knows why. And I don't watch that person's podcasts anymore. I still try mooches, but I usually don't make it through half of it, and I get tired of all the negative Xbox stuff, and I just have to turn it off. And I don't, not no offense to Mooch, he's not the one promoting that crap. He's just talking games. But hey, if you got somebody on your panel that's yeah, and I know friends and all that, so hey, they don't need me. And that one dude brings a lot of people to the podcast and all that, so I'm sure it's more important to do what's best for them. They don't have to do anything for me, and they don't. So anyway, but yeah, GRG. After that's a great show. I love listening to those guys because you know what? It's not even so much that they're all gamers, which they are, but you can just tell they're friends and the back and forth and same thing for Dealer and Colts RDX. Man, those guys have fun during the show. They cut up and I've heard some people whine about, well, they're all about the clicks and big audience and making money. I don't know what money those Dealer makes off that, but man, he ain't getting monetized from YouTube because he cusses like a sailor. And if somebody spent 24 years in the military, that's a lot. All right. It's a good show, so I always try to catch it, but I don't get to watch it live very often. I did this week because I'm over here, and I did the week before. No, I flew in, got here on Friday, and get here late Friday night, so I didn't listen to their show till like sometime on Saturday or Sunday. And that's what I normally do anyway. I listen to, for RDX, I listen to it on Wednesday. So I did catch it that first Tuesday I was here, and I was there live. And I was there this couple of days ago live. But once I get back to the States, I work. I'm at work at, I leave about 5 o'clock, and then I don't get back home till 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. So I definitely miss a lot of the podcasts live, but they're cool. I listen to them like on my drive and stuff. And sometimes when I get up, I've got, sometimes 2, even 3 hours before work, and I'll throw on a podcast while I'm cooking or doing dishes or doing whatever, I do before work. There you go. Shinzo Elite. I don't like any drama in podcasts. Just want to hear about games. Yeah, he's right. Now, sometimes I'll veer off and get a little BSy, but I always come back and say that, no, man, I'm my own beast. I like what I like and all that stuff. And I got no problem with PlayStation and Sony. Great games. There's great games on Xbox. I hear a lot of Xbox guys want to say that, oh, well, we had them a couple years. It was bad. And we didn't have enough games, but we really want better games. And I think their games have been great. So if that's been a problem, holy crap. When they get all these game studios rolling out games, it's going to be amazing. Because, listen, when they pivoted from buying second-party games after the whole debacle with... oh goodness! It just popped out of my head. The Dragon game. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's canceled. And that developer kind of pocketed in quite a bit of Microsoft money and not getting the game in a state of readiness. It was supposed to be out. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out with the X. It was going to be like a day one X game, and they couldn't get it in time. So yeah, Microsoft just canked it on them, and I don't blame them. And then the whole Crackdown 3, which, you know what? I love Phil Spencer. Crackdown 3 was a mess. The original company and the patents and the software and all that went to another company. Went to Epic. And whether it worked or not, who knows? But they had to pivot hard and retool the game to work on their own servers. And, they did the best they could. But what they did do, while they were trying to get all that fixed, they doubled down on the campaign. And if you've not played the campaign on Crackdown 3, then screw you and screw all them people that say Crackdown 3 sucks. If you want to say Crackdown 3 multiplayer sucks, I'm not going to argue, although that's crappy. Uh-oh, somebody just got authenticating. I don't know, did I drop out there, guys, or something? It's under my voice command thing. It did something wacky. But now it's back and everything seems okay. Yeah, Scalebound, I'm sorry. Yeah, it helps to have other people to bounce stuff off of. But anyway, Crackdown 3 campaign. Listen, they brought that game along and went back and they made it a lot better. Okay, and you know what? It was fine for what it was. But anyway, they changed their whole business model. We're not going to buy second party games for our big bangers and whatever. I mean, they'll still do the occasional second party game. They've had deals during that time that they signed that's only starting to come out, like this flight simulator game. What was the other one? It just came out not too long ago. The Halloween, based on the Halloween movie thingy, Blair Witch. There you go. Actually, I played that and it was pretty good. They've done a few deals like that. I think they might have a couple more up their sleeve that we're going to see between now and the Scarlett, because they're going to keep pumping games out. They're full steam ahead. You can back it up and say it started all the way back when the last Forza Horizon dropped, or you can say it started with Gears. It doesn't matter when it started, okay? It's Xbox Game Studios, and there's no looking back now. And you know what? And Sony, nothing bad to say. They've still got 2 massive games, and I don't hear about Concrete Genie because that was whatever. But they still got Death Stranding, and as wacky and goofy as that's looked and stuff, Kojima knows how to make a good game. It will be fine, and you know what? They'll have people that'll swear it's the greatest game in the history of the world. There's other people going to call it trash, and then for the rest of the people that just love playing games, it's just going to be another good Sony game. Okay? And then they got, I don't know the name of it. It's the ripoff of Sekiro, Die Twice or whatever. And this keeps saying disconnected, connected, authenticating. I might be dropping in and out, guys. I don't know. I'm on Wi-Fi over here, by the way, so yeah, that might have something to do with it. Maybe I should have waited a little later to go on and got everything lined up with announcements on Twitter and YouTube saying that I'm about to go live and been really professional and jotted down some notes and some topics, and then no man, I jumped in head first once. Mad said he couldn't go live with the Next Gen podcast, which I'm a panel member of and love very much, along with Jamie Moran. We're going to do that next week. It just not happening this week. But I was like, well, I can still go live, and yeah, I did. Wasn't quite possibly set up, and I'm just moving from topic to topic. So anybody in the chat, anything you want to talk about, just throw it up there, and we'll go for it. Like I said, I'm going to talk some Saturn talk and 2D arcade games if Graphic God shows back up. Moving right along, though, we'll go ahead and say next topic. I heard some grumblings about PS5 quite possibly being more powerful than Scarlett. Hey, could be. I doubt it. Phil said, Xbox said, their goal is to have the most powerful console. They thought they were going to have the most powerful coming into this gen, and a lot of people, I remember the rumors back then leading up to it. If you go late 2011, early 2012, or even go back a little before that, go back about June, July, August of 2012, most of the rumors, Xbox was going to be the most powerful. And everybody knew they were using off-the-shelf parts. Yeah, I know they're custom, but they were still, AMD sold them both those same crappy processors. They were using the same GPUs. But Sony snuck in the better RAM, more RAM, faster RAM. And at the last second, Microsoft was scrambling because they had Kinect in there. And then that was part of their downfall at the beginning. They had the less powerful console that was $100 more. And once gaming journalists latched onto that, there was no letting go. And why not bang on Microsoft? Microsoft don't come after journalists or other companies, and Sony does. Okay, Sony will cut your money if they're putting advertising on your website or your blog site, because that's all those are. IGN and all those places, they're not journalistic gaming internet magazines or whatever. They're blog sites, and it's all opinion. It's no different than me being on here right now. I can say the Scarlett's going to be the most powerful, and I can't back it up. I ain't dropping you no damn links. Go look it up yourself. Everything they've said, it's going to be more powerful. And what's funny, every time I've heard certain rumors about the Scarlett, it seems like silence from the Sony camps for a month, 2 months, 3 months, even 6 months. And all of a sudden, there's rumors of Sony having that same thing. Like the 8-core, 16-thread Zen processor. I've always heard that Microsoft was getting the Zen Plus. Now that was my belief. Now they're saying that's what Sony's getting. I doubt it. I think Sony's just getting the Zen. And they're not getting the Plus version. But I could be wrong. But that's my belief. Microsoft has the Plus version. And then same thing for the GPU. The whole RDNA, Microsoft's graphics chip. Yeah, it's one gen past what Sony bought. Okay, and they're not going to be able to change that because it's too late. Bunch of journalists showed a demo. Oh, PS5 is the greatest thing in the world. Whatever. If Microsoft chose to do the same thing, they could blow people away with the Scarlett demo. I don't care. I am tired of the rumors. I'm tired of hearing crap like that. I hear one thing, and then the next day it's something different on the other one. And unfortunately, that's all we're going to get until pure third party with no dog in the fight. I hate to say it, but until somebody like Digital Foundry gets those consoles, takes them apart, and starts telling us the truth of what's inside. Because I don't trust Sony. Sony will absolutely lie about what goes into their equipment. They lied all kinds of times before. And even worse than lying, they let rumors that make their console sound better just kind of, they don't say anything like it's real. They don't deny them. You know, it was like when the Switch was leading up to be about to drop. There was all kinds of rumors about Sony doing a new version of the PSP or PS Vita, whatever crap handheld Sony used to have. A new handheld by Sony. No, there was no chance of that. But Sony never said a word. So if somebody held out buying a Switch early because they thought Sony was going to drop a handheld that following year, crap like that. I'm just saying But anyway, Sony is such a business savvy company. And more than business savvy, they're business vicious. Kind of like Microsoft was back in the 80s when they were buying OSs and different products that would end up in their package of Word and Excel and all that stuff. Man, they would just buy companies and just shut them down because they didn't want a competitor. Other times they just renamed something to be Microsoft whatever, and then they went with it. They were pretty vicious. Now Microsoft is a big old jelly donut. They're soft as can get out. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're politically correct. They are one of the most they're diverse companies, and that's a good thing. All right, it really is. Sony's an old school Japanese company, and yeah, they don't like women. There ain't no big time women executives at Sony, well, at least not in Sony Japan. No, Sony US. They might. I'm sure they do. They're in America, so they've got to abide by American hiring policies and all that. But Sony seems like a good old boys club, and Microsoft's a very modern and diverse company. But no one should care either way. Who puts out a great console and great services, and who puts out great games? And right now, Microsoft's winning on both fronts. They're putting out the great games. Sony ain't putting out nothing. Till Death Stranding drops, Sony has not had crap since Spider-Man. That's been a long time. I know there was a couple of crappy games they had out, but no, those aren't bangers. They've not had a banger since Spider-Man. Days Gone was not a banger. It was a double A game with triple A looks. If you disagree, fine. Holy shit, Christopher Hart. What's he doing here? Because I'm like talking smack on Sony. Uh-oh. Yeah, Christopher Hart, I didn't say you were, and I've seen all that talk, and I'm not denying that it might not be. I was just, I was just talking some, what I think, my opinion, that the Xbox will be more powerful, but man, it might not be. Sony outsmarted them at the beginning of this gen. Going into it, Microsoft believed the Xbox One was the more powerful of the consoles. They believed that. And Sony had that extra RAM, and they didn't add that no last second. You can't add that much RAM and that high-end RAM that they put in the PS4. That's not no last second add. That was already there. The only thing they did the last second was they pulled the camera out of the box. We all know that they were going to release a camera too, and theirs would have been the same price. And they seen how everybody hated all that crap, and they just great move there. But the smarter move, okay, the really great move was their camera was still just a crappy PS3 camera anyway. It wouldn't have jacked the price up $100 like the Kinect did for Xbox. And it wasn't tied into the operating system, any of that shit, like the Kinect was. But most importantly is it had more RAM, and they kept that secret from Microsoft. I don't know how. You think AMD might have leaked it to Microsoft, but Microsoft believed they had the more powerful console. And you know what? They didn't. And it cost them big time. More powerful, $100 cheaper. End of story. Generation 1. For console sales. Now, you talk about year in, year out profit. Microsoft's been right there with them the entire generation. And they have. And it's gotten better with Game Pass now. Although that's revenue down a little bit because they have to get everybody hooked into Game Pass. So they've done the dollar deals. And if you already had a year Game Pass and a year live and you paid $1, they would, boom, you had 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, and even longer. It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, they are, Christopher Hart. They are putting out better games right now. Sony's not put out crap since Spider-Man, so stop it. All right, Gears 5 is the game of the year. Crushed everything, so you're wrong. You're wrong. Now, once Sony drops their Death Stranding, if it turns out to be the masterpiece you think it is, then I'll take it back. And I'll be like, okay, both of them had one great game this year. Microsoft had Gears 5 and Sony had Death Stranding. And all the other games are multi-plats and they're on both systems. And any of the other crap that shows up on PlayStation, it's not on Xbox. Xbox are not like big giant games or anything, the so-called bangers. And I'm only talking about right now. I ain't talking about the length of the generation. And even at that, come on. Right now in chat, you type out and start listing all these so-called bangers. You're only looking at 10, 12 games through the entire generation. Okay? That's Sony, owned bangers. It's not enough to matter. 90% of all games are multi-plat, even on your pony system. Okay? It just is. Okay? Now, does 10 or 12 games make all the difference in the world? Some people, yeah. Is Microsoft's 10 or 12 games they've had throughout the gen been as good? No. They've not been nearly as bad as people make them out to be. Anyway, I think he left. Too much Xbox for him. I'll stop it. Before he got in chat, I was actually saying how much I love PlayStation and I love VR. I've got a Pro. Huge Bloodborne fan. That how they, yeah, that was a steal on them getting Bloodborne made for them. Then again, that's second party game they bought. That's not a PlayStation studio. And that particular studio has said they don't want to make any more single system games. We'll see how long or how much money Sony puts out for Bloodborne 2. Yeah, it's all good. All right, we finished up the Obsidian and then got totally off track talking about the power thing. But let me retouch up on that. I think the Xbox will be more powerful. I don't think it's going to be called the XBOX Scarlett. If we're talking names, I would like them to drop the one moniker, but I don't know that they will. So we may be looking at something like the Xbox One V or the Xbox V. I don't know if they'll just flat out say Xbox 5 because technically it'll be the fourth. But I count the X as its own beast. It's so much better than the Xbox One. So much better than the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 4 Pro. The X is just a total beast. So I'm counting it. So that means the next console is their fifth. I hope they go with the Xbox V. It wouldn't be the end of the world if they went with one V. And even if they called it Xbox Infinity, I could live with that. I don't know if they can do that, because you got Infinity Automobile, but I guess the term Infinity, I don't think that's copyrighted. It's like one of those Infinity and Beyond. It's a term that can be used by anybody for basically any product, as long as you don't steal their fonts and any little symbols they use with it. Crap. Yeah, I believe the one needs to go, but I don't know that they will. Because the Xbox. Oh, sorry, guys. I was drinking that tea and choked myself. Oh, and my voice is going all weird. All right. I'm okay. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. You've still got the OG Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. They're not going anywhere, particularly the X. This is going to be there the entire generation. And I wouldn't, at least at the beginning, it's going to be their low-cost console. If you can snag an X at $300 as opposed to paying $500 for the Scarlett or the PS5, that's not a bad option because it will play every game. And you might not always get 60, but you're going to get 4K out of it. And actually, you'll get 60 out of it a lot of times. They'll do, it won't be no 1440p crap like the PS4 Pro, but you'll get, 18p or 1880, whatever the number is. And then it'll just upscale to 4K, and then they'll hit 60. So all those pure 4K 60 games, yeah, on the Scarlett, They might just be upscaled on the X, but it's a beast, and that's a money saving thing. And considering if you've got Game Pass, you don't have to buy any games. You really don't. That's so amazing. But yeah, Sony's going to be right behind them. Every Sony game is going to end up day and date in PS Now. It's going to be on PCs, just like Xbox games. It's all going to that. It's just money on the table, and Sony's not going to leave all that money on the table once they start seeing Microsoft rake it in. I've said this before. It's simple math. Okay, Sony puts out 2 games a year, sometimes 3, but always 2. 2 big bangers that are $60 each. And within that financial window where they've got to bring the majority of the money in, let's say they sell 10 million copies. And I'm not talking about 3 years later when they're like, oh, it's sold 15 million now. No, I'm talking about in that financial time frame that the money's got to be in to get back for all that they've paid out over the previous 3 to 5 years during development. $60 a game, 8 to 10 million if they're the absolute bangers. All right, do the math. Twice a year, minus off 150 million, 200 million for both the games cost. Maybe even go 250 advertising. Who knows? It's a lot. But anyway, Microsoft, on the other hand, $10 to $15 a month. And we'll go low just to make things simple math for you. Okay, 30 million subscribers. That's what they're shooting for. That's what they're in their own private meetings they're saying they're going to do. Okay, 30 million people plucking down $10 a month, and a lot of those will be at 15. And it'll actually always be at like 33, 32 million, 35 million. It'll fluctuate enough over 30 so that, because you're going to lose people some month, gain people. It's just like with Netflix. But anyway, they're going to average 30 million subscribers paying $10 a month. Do the math. They will be making triple what Sony makes off their 2 bangers. Simple as that. They got to pay the same amount of money for development. They probably won't pay the same as what Sony pays in advertising. They're going to save some money there, which hurt them this gen. Because they didn't have Game Pass, until the last part of the generation. Them first 3-4 years, they gave up pretty early. Come on, let's be honest, people. 15 months into this generation, they knew they'd lost it. Okay, by the time Phil had fully taken over and everything, they're like, you know what, we're not spending. If we have a game we're behind, we'll pay for advertising for that particular game. But they just sucked on marketing and advertising. They just didn't. Maybe it is because they know the numbers, and they're like, if we spend 100 million advertising this, we're going to get X amount of sales. If we do 10 million advertising this, we're going to get X amount of sales, and they can live with the alternative. I don't know. Either way, wow, yeah, they just didn't do a good job. Even when the X come out, goodness, it was only about 2 weeks, and that advertising went back to nothing. But with Gears, yeah, they blew that out of the water. They're still advertising it heavy, good on them. And they're pushing Game Pass hard now, although I still would like to see more primetime television commercials. And they need to start hitting like Lifetime and channels like that, because you get all these single moms with 2 and 3 kids. Game Pass would be a godsend for them. You can go buy kids an S and get that Game Pass subscription, and man, you're set. It ain't going to cost you a fortune like, back in the old days. It was one thing to drop $200, $300, $400 on a console, but then you still had to buy games. And if you bought even 2-3 games a year, it's another 180. 4 games, 240. 500 extra per year on 4 or 5 games. It's a nasty, expensive hobby. That single mom, 2 kids, working at the Waffle House, she can't do that. But she can buy a used Xbox One S and a Game Pass subscription, and our kids get to play over 200 plus games a month. It is an amazing thing. And all these so-called gamers whining and crying, well, it's not for me, and I want to own this or that. Screw you, pay for your games. Go spend $60 on every one of your games. If you buy some Microsoft games, they're happy you've done that. If you're just on the other consoles, those companies are happy you're doing that. But the point is, there are people who can't afford to do that, can now afford and have all these great games. So stop hating on stuff that you're not using or don't care about. That's all I'm saying. That's the importance of Game Pass. Yeah, Shinzo, they did not get behind their games. Early on, they didn't have enough console sales, so those games sold poorly. And, by the time Quantum Break come out, they were, again, still wasn't enough consoles sold. And Remedy was brought in the game late, over budget. Microsoft wasn't happy with them. And it's a Remedy game, not really a Microsoft game, although they paid for it. But still, they were still on that whole second party thing then. That's part of the reason that Scalebound, Crackdown 3, those three things, and then having to get rid of some studios that wasn't producing stuff for them anyway. But those three kind of helped shift what they were going to do. And what they've done is they bought 15 friggin' studios, or brought up their total amount to 15. Amazing thing. So you don't have to worry about the games anymore. They're already coming. Gears. The last Forza, last two. Well, let's not even go back to 3 years, 4 years. Let's just go back to last year with Forza Horizon 4, Gears. I'll even throw in single player Crackdown. If you've not played it, people want to crack on it, but man, that campaign is actually really fun. If you like just leaping around and blowing crap up, it's fun. Yeah, I know. Microsoft made the big multiplayer and destruction and all that, and you know what? That's what they wanted it to be, and it didn't work out. So give them an L for that. They know it. So, move on. Plenty of other great games. And they're just constantly dropping. Have you guys seen that flight simulator game? Holy shit. You're going to be able to fly anywhere in the world. Unbelievably accurate airports and runways. I was an air traffic controller for years. Oh, my. 24 years, in fact. And that thing is amazing. And you know what? You're not playing that on the PS4 or the PS5. Suck it up and buy a copy for your PC, or subscribe to PC Game Pass, or buy an Xbox. Because I'm telling you, that game is amazing. It is leaps and bounds beyond anything out in that same kind of genre. There ain't nothing going to touch that baby. Christopher Hart, I didn't say anything wrong. I just said my... Yeah, I'm sorry, Christopher Hart. I was getting on you. I'm just acting silly and stuff. Dude, I've seen you in hundreds of chats. You're always fine, and you're a PlayStation guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a Pro. I have PlayStation VR. I have all their bangers. I buy all my PlayStation games physical, because there's only 10 or 12 bangers that come out during the entire generation. And that's been the knock against not just Microsoft. That's my knock against Sony. Neither company put out nearly enough games this generation. They just haven't. Games take longer now. They really do. You're looking, new IPs, 5 years. Really? 5 years? Yeah, that's what's been taken. Now, if it's a retread IP, yeah, you can pump those out every couple of years for a racing game or a Call of Duty game. or 3 years actually, because they rotate the three studios. But and then same thing for the Ubisoft. They've got some games that they flip flop back and forth between studios. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, neither consoles I thought put out nearly enough exclusives, and I think they're both. That's going to change in next generation. I think they both realize that. Yeah, buying them second party games that's not how to do it. You know what? Buy the entire dev and you own the game. And then if it's a second party company, no, they're a third party and they need to put out multiplats. I think Sony will still buy a few second party games because I don't think they have enough studios. They don't. Come on, let's not argue about it. They don't have enough studios, and people keep forgetting half them studios have to put out VR games. That's another reason why Microsoft's not jumped into VR yet, because they don't. They want to pump out games for their console and PC. Always got to say that too, console and PC, because that's Xbox. Yeah, that whole when you can play something on PC, it doesn't hurt the value. One of the other smart moves that Microsoft made besides Game Pass was the fact that all their games are dropping day and date in Steam. Because there are a lot of PC people who will not ever subscribe to Game Pass. They hate Microsoft. It's crazy. They're as fanatical as the most fanatical ponies. They're just not gonna do it. Fine. But you know what? They'll turn around and drop $60 on it on Steam, or $40, whatever it's being sold for on Steam. They'll buy it there, but they're just not. And that's still giving Microsoft the money, but they act like it's not. Well, Microsoft has to give Steam that big old 30% cut. So yeah, great, whatever. They're supporting Steam, but anyway, all games day and date on Steam. So they're going to get plenty of sales there. They're going to get plenty of physical disc sales as well as digital sales than normal. Because some people do want to own their games. I own over 600 games. But I'm also now playing stuff in Game Pass like crazy. And some of those games I've played and I'm like, you know what? I want to own that. So I'll end up buying it when it goes out of Game Pass. Or when I see said game on sale for $15 or $20 or something, and I won't put that in my collection. Yeah, back to that VR thing. I think Microsoft will get into VR, but I don't think they're going to have their game studios. They're not going to have to put a whole bunch of studios working on VR games. Now they might have some studios that they bought and owned that's already done a VR game or have a game that's pretty easily converted to VR. They'll probably let them do that. But all them VR games that are out on Oculus and what's the other one? HTC Vive. They're just gonna, you know, put that on their VR system, and that'll be your library of games. Just like PlayStation has a lot of those games, as well as some exclusive PlayStation VR games. I mean, I had PlayStation VR, and I have over 100 games slash experiences for it. Not enough complete full games. I'm not even sure how long we've been on. It looks like J Dubs got held up and he's not coming back. But we're going to go a little bit longer anyway. I still got a couple more topics I want to get to. So let's get away from this PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlett, who's stronger, not stronger. We talked all that. And let's That's all speculation and gossip until we get the true numbers. So it doesn't matter what I say or what anybody else says till we know. And it doesn't matter what Sony says, because I will say this: Sony will lie about the specs of their console. We won't know for sure until they bust that baby open and figure out exactly what the data pipe is, how much RAM's really in it, how fast those SSDs really are, and all that good stuff. I expect them to be very similar. Everybody says that. Everybody expects them to be very similar. I mean, let's be honest. The Xbox One and base PS4 were very similar. The PS4 could just hit 1080p, and only a select few games on the Xbox One could. And actually, every game could have if the developer would have taken the time. There's a few games that did, where Microsoft sent their teams in to help them, and they got the game at 1080p. But most devs just dropped their crap at 720 or 900p and called it a day. They didn't want to put in the extra work, because that was kind of extra work to make the Xbox One get to 1080p. And that was the whole point of the X. You don't have to do nothing. They just throw that game into it and run the compiler, and boom. It's already better than even an enhanced version on the Pro. It's going to look better on the X. And then once you enhance it for the X, the sky's the limit. That's been awesome. But both consoles will be very similar. I mean, come on. They're buying all the parts through AMD. It's just Sony has AMD do some custom work on said chipsets. Microsoft does their own custom work with AMD in conjunction, where Sony just has AMD do it. They don't have the big teams like Microsoft does. They got goofy ass Mark Cerny, tells AMD, well, I want the chip, I want this and that and that and that. But he's one of the ones that's pretty bad about lying, saying about that the Pro, or you couldn't do 4K without certain teraflops or whatever, and then turn around and lie and saying that the Pro was 8 teraflops because of that FP16 bullshit that didn't do anything, and almost no game used it. The one or two games that did use it were awful. It did not help them it made them worse, in fact. And that's why none of them use it now. It was just a useless feature that he tried to tout. So again, I don't trust anything he says. And I'm not saying he's not a genius, by the way. He's a lot smarter than I'll ever be. He is an engineer, and he did design the majority of the PS4. And from my understanding, he didn't actually. He figured out what he wanted in the box, blah, 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 and then they went to AMD, and AMD built it. But he gets credit for it. Whatever. I mean, it's like Nintendo, that's what they did. They went to NVIDIA, and they said, hey, this is what we want. Boom, 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 boom. NVIDIA came back and said, yeah, no problem. We can do all that. Including letting the game get compiled so you can get all these multi-plat games will run, no problem. Hey, it's worked out fine for them. Same thing for the PS4. You can't deny 100 million sold. Like I said, I got one. That's good. Anyway, we keep going back to that. Gotta move on. How about that Call of Duty? We talked about Obsidian and Outer World, how great that looks. I love sci-fi RPG. But new Call of Duty, new engine. I'm not so sure that that's really a new engine as opposed to upgraded engine. But either way, it's game looks pretty awesome. We'll see. Oh, the third biggie, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, I'm day one on that. Does that not look amazing? Yeah, there's some amazing games coming. I'll probably pick up Death Stranding too when it drops down to $20, and it will. They all do. I got Spider-Man for $20. And that wasn't intentional. I actually wanted to buy Spider-Man day one, but I can't even remember. Something happened at the time, and I don't know. I didn't fool around, didn't get it, and then other things hit, games that I thought was a lot better. Red Dead. It didn't take Spider-Man all that long, you know. You walk into a Walmart and buy it for $20, so that's what I paid for it. And it's a damn good $20 game. Holy crap. That Jedi. Fallen Order. Yeah, baby. It looks so good. There's a bunch of smaller games coming too. There always is. I miss those double A games. We've had a few. We had a couple this year. But used to be, it was a lot of double A games. Then you had the handful of the big triple A bangers. And then you only had a few indies. What's happened is now you have a shit ton of indies and a shit ton of big triple A games. And now just a few double A type games, which really sucks. And there's even been some indie games that bumped up their game to put out something at that double A level. And even triple A level, if you look back at like Ninja Theory and you know their last game before Microsoft bought them. They got that, how should I put it? Better be nice. They're multiplayer, whatever, fighting game. Would you call it that? With combat? I don't think it's a shooting game. I can't even think of the name of it. And I was just reading about it today again. Bleeding Edge. But anyway, the artwork in that looks amazing. And I heard so many people crap on that. If you look at those characters, wow. Very, very on the level of anything in Overwatch. Now, I'm not saying that game's on the level of Overwatch, but it is. I just wish somehow they'd come up with a campaign for it. A Bleeding Edge campaign, you know, about 10 hours long. 15, I don't know, between 10 and 15 hours, and you could pick any one of those characters and go through a progression of stuff. That would have been pretty cool. I just don't like any game that comes out that doesn't have any single player aspect. When you just drop something that's multiplayer only, you're putting out something for just part of the fan base. And that kind of sucks. Then again, I guess you could say the same thing when Sony drops a big ass banger like Uncharted. Oh wait, they have multiplayer in those games. They just suck. Yeah, so never mind. Yeah, Uncharted's multiplayer sucks. Stop it. You know what sucks more than Uncharted multiplayer? The Last of Us is multiplayer. Yeah, it sucks. Nobody plays it. There's like 7 of you online, so stop it. Stop it. No, seriously, stop it. All 7 of you. Just stop. It's garbage. What's some fuckers on some of those podcasts? It's trash. It's trash. And then if you call them out on saying that, then they start crying. Like, why are you attacking me? I have the right to... Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're just being assholes. And then when you call them out on it, then they cry. You can call me out on anything. Not a problem. I ain't going to drop no names, though. Because they're so-called community members. But yeah, they're crybabies. I wouldn't call them fearmongers. Oh, well, actually, there's 1 or 2 of them. I'm not talking about the hardcore fearmongers. We all know who they are. They're garbage. But there's a handful of people that are so-called important community members, blah, blah, blah. And they just whine and cry all the time when they don't get their way. And then they pass judgment on shit. And if you say anything to them, they get all defensive and make it like you're being the bad guy. Yeah, fuck those motherfuckers. Yeah, fuck them. Crybabies. You know. And even fear-mongering a little bit. I like the shows like Mr. Boomstick, any of his podcasts. The man loves gaming, and that's all you're going to hear about. No negative shit. It is so nice. But we talked about all these podcasts earlier in RDX, and there's some great podcasts out there. GRG, the Iron Lords. There's plenty of them. Yeah, Gene Mark Lewis. Apparently, you don't understand sarcasm and what I was doing, but it might have went over your head. Uh, I don't believe in any games saying it's trash or garbage. I was just being funny. Guess it wasn't funny to you because whatever. Um, no, those multiplayer games are not that good, but they're not garbage. They're not trash, and they're actually not just 7 people playing. There's 8 or 9. Come on. I know that. I know. But, yeah, it ain't like Gears and the massive amount of people that live in multiplayer and have for years and years and years. Or Halo, for God's sake. And I don't like none of those multiplayer games anyway, so if you want to call me biased to that, yeah, I don't like multiplayer. I don't like first-person shooters, so that means I'm not a Halo fan. That's true. I don't mind playing the campaign, but I am not a big fan of Halo. I do not like first-person. I am a third-person guy. In fact, I'm probably the perfect Sony customer. I love third-person, over-the-shoulder camera, big adventure games, single-player. I love that stuff. Yet I have 633 games on my Xbox. I have probably 15 to 20 physical discs of PS4 games. Maybe not even that many. Crap, I'd have to go through them in my head and count them out. I have a handful more that, you get the free crap each month as long as you keep paying. I have a few that were so cheap on sale that I bought, even though I didn't need and didn't want, or might have already even had on Xbox. But so I've got a handful of games that way, and I got a crap ton of VR stuff. But yeah, I don't like first-person shooters. Never have, never will. I like third-person. There ain't that many great third-person shooters. I wish some more would come out. I cried when they said Cyberpunk's going first person. I want to love Cyberpunk. I do. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. But I just don't like first person. Never have. Going all the way back to Doom and I play Doom. I've got the latest Doom game. I've got almost all the old ones. Just because I say that's not my favorite kind of genre or whatever doesn't mean I don't play them or don't have them. There's so many of them. You can't just limit yourself to one kind of gaming. I've tried everything, and I'm just telling you what I prefer. Yes, I have played World War Z. And it blows away Days Gone, by the way. Again, this is opinion. I'm not throwing out facts, so people, calm down. Calm down. If anybody listens to this later, you ready? World War Z destroys DayZ. Just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking to make Cyberpunk first person. I don't like that at all. But you know what? I'm going to play it. I'll still enjoy it. I like futuristic sci-fi games, and at least it's a big single-player game. Now, they'll probably release some multiplayer crap later, and it probably won't be very good. I don't know. I hear Red Dead Online's actually getting good, and I'm not ever going to play it. I don't play Grand Theft Auto online. But I loved Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. I love the single player campaigns, but I'm not getting online and doing that. I don't like to just, yeah. That's just a me thing. But I've heard people are starting to, because hey, they just keep adding crap to it. If they're not getting enough, daily play, weekly play, they add things. The Rockstars, they're called Rockstar for a reason. And I don't know that those CD Projekt Red, are going to be able to do any kind of multiplayer to the level that Rockstar does. I'll just be honest. Rockstar's got the bodies and the people behind it that even if something's really bad with one of their games, they can fix and move on and just keep selling. And I think CD Projekt Red's got to hit it out of the ballpark. And I don't know that first person will do that. I'm probably wrong because I'm a bit biased about not caring that much for first person. So we'll see. I think initial sales, though, it'll be good. I can see it easily crossing 10 million, no problem. So they'll make their money back and more. And they may reach those insane levels like, Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that thing's probably got to be close to 30 million now. Or maybe that's what it'll be after it drops on PC here soon. I kept hearing some people saying that Call of Duty would be the biggest selling game of the year. No. Well, I guess technically Red Dead came out the previous year. So it had, 2 months, 3 months on the previous year. So, yeah, maybe Call of Duty will be the biggest selling game this year. I don't know how you break up Red Deads. I just know that in the end, Red Dead Redemption 2 will have sold a crap ton more copies than Modern Warfare in the end. Because Modern Warfare only gets 1 year, basically, to get its 6 million, 8 million, 10 million sold, whatever it ends up being. Back in the 360 days, just on Xbox alone, some of those Call of Duty games were selling like 16, 18 million just on the Xbox. And they were selling 1 or 2 million on the PS3. So you're looking 18, 20 million. I think their biggest one, I think they had a 26 million one. Man, that was huge. But people aren't buying games like that anymore. Those kind of record numbers, except for Grand Theft Auto. There's been a few exceptions. I mean, even Sony's biggest bangers this gen, 8-10 million. I guess in the long, I've been hearing some numbers thrown out like 15 million for Uncharted. No, it didn't. They're putting those copies in consoles that they sell, and it's not the same as a sold game. Whatever. All right, even if you want to go with that, I guess. I'm just telling you, in the height of the 360, dude, that thing was a beast as far as selling games. PS3, not so much. And I was a PS3 guy. But I have a long history of picking the losing consoles. Not always. I mean, I had a Genesis pretty early on. Uh, Actually, I bought the Genesis and an NES pretty much at the same time. I was down in Panama. And I previously had an Atari 1040 ST. Was already playing 16-bit before the Genesis ever dropped. But I'd gotten rid of that. And then so I picked up both the NES and a Genesis. Never looked back. And then bought the Super Nintendo when it dropped. And I brought a Sega CD. I don't think I ever actually got the 32X when it came out because I already knew I was getting a Saturn. And I'm like, I'm not fooling with the 32X. I have one now, but I didn't back in the day when it mattered. But I also had a PC Engine back in the day from Japan. Well, that was awesome. Never bought the TurboGrafx 16 because, maybe 9 months before it came out, I already had the PC Engine and a handful of shooters, shumps, we call them. Back in the day, I called them spaceship shooters. But that's why I love the Genesis, because it had a crap ton of them, and the PC Engine had a crap ton. Loved that stuff. I no longer have that original PC Engine. I can't remember what happened to it. I do have a combo PC Engine thingy from Japan that's got the CD built into it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And I got an EverDrive. So you can burn any PC game anyway. or CD game, excuse me. You can burn any CD game from the PC Engine. And then with an EverDrive, that gives me every chipped game, card game, whatever you want to call that. Hey, any of you guys got EverDrives? I got one for the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis. Kind of one for the Neo Geo because I've got both a consoleized MVS as well as a AES. Yeah, or whatever it is, the home console version of Neo Geo. I've got something like that. It's not as cool as a true EverDrive, but it's close. And then I've also got a couple of different, 100-something games on a cartridge thing for it, which is actually not bad. Not as good as a true EverDrive, though. I also got the N64 EverDrive. Game Boy EverDrive. I've got all those minis now, and I've got it hacked. I've got every NES game, all on my hacked NES. I've got every Super Nintendo game, but there was a lot of Super Nintendo games. So what I did is I bought the Super NES and Super Famicom. So I got the cool looking one from Japan as well as the American version, and I got about. There's some games that are so bad I'm not putting on there, but I've got the majority of games, and about half of them on one, half on the other. It's pretty cool. I've got that Genesis Mini too, but I don't think it's been hacked yet. I've not caught anything on the internet about it. I'm hoping somebody hacks it soon, but again, I probably got 5 or 6 Genesis laying around and 2 Sega CDs for them, and I only got one 32X, but all them 32X, all those plays with your EverDrive, so it's pretty sweet having every game that ever came out for a system. Especially, say, like the N64, because it had a limited library. Come on, it just did. Nobody was putting their third-party games on the N64. It was pretty much Nintendo or death. Kind of like the Wii U was Nintendo or death, and of course it died. N64 did okay. GameCube did a little bit better, and GameCube had way better third-party support than the 64, but it still didn't have enough. It was so weird because it was more powerful than the PS2, and people always point to that. Well, see, they didn't matter about the power because they didn't sell a lot. No, the GameCube didn't sell because it looked like a fucking children's toy, okay? And it used a little tiny crap disc that you couldn't put nearly enough information on. Okay, let's be honest. Nintendo made mistakes on multiple generations. Not going CD-based with the N64 was a stupid decision. It cost them some of their biggest homegrown developers and had games end up on the PlayStation that would probably not have been on the PlayStation, and they would have continued to dominate. But no, they had to be stubborn and stick with cartridges. And the N64 also had even though it's supposedly 64-bit, it had a 32-bit data bus. It was not 64-bit. You can't have a 32-bit data bus. You can call yourself 64-bit, but it is not. And those games wasn't. But it's Nintendo. They put out a lot of great games anyway for it. They work within their system and they put out great games. But that console didn't sell that well in comparison. I mean, let's be honest. What did the PS1 sell? 80, 90 million? The N64, 20-something million? It was not counting that stupid 3D red thingy Game Boy. Take that out of the mix, and then the N64 had been the lowest selling up until the Wii U. The N64 had been the lowest selling Nintendo console of all time. GameCube was around 30 million. It did a little bit better, 32 million, whatever it ended up being. I love the GameCube. In fact, I've got a Wii with a hard drive on it that's got every GameCube game that ever came out, as well as every Wii game. It's badass, okay? And I have it hooked to a tube TV. It don't get no sweeter than that, period. Okay, that is a monster system, giving me every Wii game, every GameCube game, all hooked to a sweet 32-inch CRT with a big fat glass tube that just looks amazing. That's pure gaming. I love that. But Nintendo made mistakes using those little tiny discs and blah, blah, blah. And the PS2 crushed it. Xbox showed up and outsold it too. Not by much, but yes, the original OG Xbox outsold the GameCube. And it was the most powerful system. Just like the GameCube was a little more powerful than the PS2, the OG Xbox was a little more powerful than the GameCube. And Xbox came in late in the gen, so they didn't have nearly the length of time that the other two did. And it sold pretty good. Good enough that Microsoft doubled down on 360 and then dominated the next generation entirely. Oh, yeah. Tugging some console history. I like that. I like getting into the history of these things. But yeah, I wasn't a big Wii fan, but I'm a fan of my Wii because it's got that hard drive. And you know what? Not only do I have every Wii game, I have those online games you could purchase. They're all on it too. It's weird. Oh, they're not on the hard drive. They're on a SD card that's also in my Wii, and it's weird. I can only have like 5 at a time, so I got to delete one. But every game that came out for that online stuff, I have. But I can only have like 5 at a time, and then I got to delete. I guess it's because of how big the SD card was. I don't know. I didn't build the system myself. I just bought it. Anyway, it's cool. You know, I got an OG Xbox that has every Xbox game that came out. And I ain't talking about that emulator crap. I'm talking about it's got a beefy hard drive inside of it, and it has every game. But I that's cool. But I like those EverDrives better because you than I just having a hard drive inside of Wii or an OG Xbox. There's just something so cool about those EverDrives. You know, I don't know that we're ever gonna get. Well, I mean, you know, both the PS3 and the 360 are hacked, but you can't. It's real hard to buy hard drives full of games and stuff. I don't. Sony's busted some people pretty hard in Japan for selling hacked PS3s and stuff. You know, with hard drives full of games. I'm sure they're out there, and you can buy a beefy hard drive full of PS3 games. I don't have it though. And with Xbox, I don't really need it because I have a crap ton of 360 games that are back compat on my Xbox One X, so that's pretty sweet. And I bought a whole bunch more on top of the ones already on, so I got a pretty beefy library that will go with me to the Scarlett. I'm happy with that. I don't mind paying a company when systems are active. I don't hack them. I don't steal from them companies. But once that console's dead and they're no longer producing games for it, then I can do whatever the fuck I want to with it and play whatever I want, however I can do it. And you know what? Bring it on, Nintendo. Bring it on, Xbox. Bring it on, Sony. There's nothing you can do about it. I already have the ROMs. I already have the games. I already have a hard drive full of games for whatever system. There's nothing you can do. As long as I'm not, if the system ain't active and I'm not on your servers online, which would be stupid, and that's how people get busted doing that stuff. But all the games I like, none of them are online games anyway, and none of those games were online back in the day anyway. But yeah, that I don't hear that. Oh, it's illegal. No, it's not actually illegal. You can own all those ROMs. You can buy the EverDrives and multiple. It's not illegal for them to sell those things. And it's not illegal for you to put ROMs on your EverDrive. It's illegal if you fill that hard drive up with games and sell it. It's illegal if you fill up that EverDrive with ROMs and sell it. That's the gray area. The resell thing. And I guess maybe if some of those sites that had all the ROMs for the old systems. Yeah, I don't know what the legality of that is because there's still sites up right now today where you can go and download the ROMs for every Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, Master System, all those, everything, PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, every game that came out for those you can download still. Some of the sites have been put under, but there's still plenty more that have them. So I suggest to everybody, even if you don't have an EverDrive, even if you don't have a hard drive, you should download those ROMs, keep them on a beefy SD card or on an external hard drive, just have them. Because You never know when these companies decide they don't want people getting those games anymore and being able to play them. And anybody that already has an EverDrive and has all those ROMs, you're golden. As long as you got a console that'll play them, you're good to go. And there's been so many retro modern consoles built now that plays old games, and you just put your ROMs on. Ah, so wonderful, so wonderful. That's how this whole conversation started, with the little minis, because you can hack them and put all the games. And it's not really a hack. It's not like you're getting there and solder with these things. You're just loading ROMs on them, and it's pretty sweet. It's a great time to be a gamer. Man, just been an amazing generation as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Xbox pushing the boundaries on services and the system itself with the X. You got Sony dropping all their bangers, big time games. Plenty of third party masterwork games from, Grand Theft and Witcher and now Red Dead. All Ubisoft games. Man, Ubisoft's just knocked it out of the park. Capcom's been knocking it out of the park. And then all retro systems. It's so easy to get games for these retro systems. But I suggest, buy those minis, play them on your HD TV, but get yourself an OG Super Nintendo. You don't even got to go back to the NES. Get yourself an OG Super Nintendo and an OG Genesis. Maybe get a couple of them, because, they're 30-year-old consoles. How long are they going to last? Or you can get the system on a chip ones that play both Genesis, but actually all three. I've got 2 different ones that play NES, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. And here's the thing. If you put a cartridge that's got an EverDrive in it, pop it in there, man, it's hard to tell from the originals. It is. Those are cheap-ass systems. Yeah, they play fine. Don't let these hardcore people, this or that's not good about it, blah, blah, blah. Listen. Those consoles don't cost very much money. And they're not the fancy, was it FPGA or whatever, it's the big thing now. Some of those things are like $250. They cost more than the original consoles did. And those are really great. I've got a couple of those SG systems too. Trust me, I have them. But I play the majority of mine just using those cheap, crappy ones you can just order on Amazon for $40 to $60. And they play multiple systems games. And I'm not talking about like the Act Games garbage that, released a bunch of Genesis that were just awful. But these, they play fine. And again, you got an EverDrive. You got every game that ever came out for whatever system. But anyway, get yourself a big, chunky, or even better, since big CRTs weigh massive amount and take up too much crazy space, don't go try to buy a 32 or 36 inch TV. Go get you a flat screened, even if it's slight curvature, which will still look flat on a smaller set. Get you a 19 inch. Get you a 13 inch. Just make sure it's color. You can find those used. Hook yourself up, play some Super Nintendo and some Genesis. That's retro gaming to me. Anyway, I think it's time to get off here. Graphic God never made it back, so it's okay. I wasn't expecting to even be on at the beginning. We were going to do the Next Gen podcast, which will be next Wednesday or Thursday. We canceled it for this week. Mads had an emergency. Jamie had a long kind of day and stuff going on, and I think he's going to be on Boom's Breakfast with Boom tomorrow, so everybody check that out. Jamie's a very knowledgeable individual, and he's a joy to talk to about gaming. I love it that he's on our podcast with me and Mads. Mads brings the technical stuff. I bring the craziness, and Jamie Moran brings the sanity. It's a good mix. It's a good podcast. So anyway, we'll be back next Wednesday for that. That'll be on Mads' channel. This thing tonight's just on my channel, and I'm still scraping by for content, but I'm in Germany right now visiting my son and my newly born grandson. So all is good. But when I get back, I'm going to be dropping quite a bit of content. I've got shows planned. I've even got scripts written out for my Mojo's milkshakes and movies. Not a review show. Just gonna use some crazy recipes and make some tasty milkshakes and talk movies. Gonna keep it short. 8 to 15 minutes per episode. 1 to 2 episodes per week. Sweet. I'm also gonna do some gaming talk. Again, 8 to 15 minutes where we're gonna take some classic games from this generation and just kind of talk about it. Not going back and reviewing a Bloodborne or going back and reviewing, I see all these people just now getting games like, Bloodborne and, oh, this is amazing. Well, where the fuck you been? Why are you waiting to the very end of the generation to play Bloodborne or just now playing God of War? Really? Oh, yeah, you're too poor to buy. So you have to wait and get shit cheap at the end of the gen. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I've done that before myself, so. Yeah, but still, I don't want to hear them tweeting about it or being on YouTube and talking about that crap. Because we already know about that. We already know God of War is a great game, so shut up. Shut up when you start talking about 3-year-old, 5-year-old games, 6-year-old games. I don't want to hear it. Just shut up. If you didn't play those games when they came out, when it mattered, then just play them now, but keep it to yourself. We don't care. No one cares. Oh, if you buy a big-ass, bomb-ass PC, great. That is so cool. Shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear about it, though. You don't need to go on YouTube and brag about whatever latest, greatest PC you bought and that you're selling your Xbox. Nobody gives a fuck you're selling your Xbox or selling your PS4. Shut the fuck up and go away. No one cares about you. No one cares what you do. Okay? These people think that they're self-important or it matters. No, it does not. No one gives a shit. So shut the fuck up and fucking go away because you're just fear-mongering assholes that want to talk about, and then, again, you can't call them out on it. They cry they're being attacked. Fucking fear-mongering pieces of shit. Oh, was that too much? I'm not really upset about all that crap. I just see those guys and they piss me off. Oh, if everybody could be as nice as Mr. Boomstick XL. Anyway, let's get off here. It's been fun. Yeah, Shinzo. Gene Mark Lewis. There's been several. We've kind of popped in and out. I'm looking at the chat. It was actually a pretty good little bit. All the way back, there was a time where Christopher Hart was on there and I ran him off. I didn't mean to. Anyway. Pretty good little chat. Been on a while. Way longer than I meant to. But thanks everyone that tuned in, and I hope people tune in later and get past. I might try to. No, you know what? I'm too lazy. I was going to say I might try to delete that first 8-10 minutes off. No. If you want to get to the good stuff, you're going to have to struggle through that. So hopefully people will show up later. I'm going to tweet it out and all that good stuff that, hey, it's there on YouTube. Come check my channel out. Speaking of which, if you were in the chat or whatever, man, I hope you gave me a like and subscribe, because I don't got a whole lot of subscribers. I got the most pathetic YouTube channel on the planet. I think I'm at 37, maybe 36, 37 subscribers. Cool. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna get my Mojo's Milkshake and Movie Show going. I'm gonna get some game reviews on there. I'm gonna get some game. I don't know what to call it. This is where I'm going to talk about games. Non-review, but just discuss why certain games are good or not good or what I think. That kind of stuff. Hardcore movie reviews. There's going to be lots of good stuff on it. I'm going to start dropping constant and regular content. You're not going to see any gameplay and crap like that because I've said it before. There are people way better at me in doing that kind of stuff, and they're already doing it. So you know what? That's perfect. That means I don't got to put all that work in editing and doing that crap. Because if I spend all those hours and hours and hours slaving over a video, let's be honest, Colt Eastwood's video would still blow mine away. So you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm I'm just going to do straight up reviews, tell you what's good or bad about any particular game, and I'll move on. But going to be lots of movie content on my channel also. This is not just a strictly gaming channel. This is gaming and movies, and even some retro gaming too, and retro electronics. I'm going to drop some music stuff. I've got pretty decent little vinyl collection. Got some high-end equipment and not so high-end equipment. It's pretty cool. I got vintage like 1970 JBL control monitor speakers, and I've also got, God, I hate saying this, but they're called Yamo. I've always called them Jamo because I'm like an idiot from Tennessee, hillbilly. They're spelled Jamo or M-O, but apparently that's pronounced Yamo. I've been calling them Jamos for years. Anyway, I got a real high-end set of theirs, and I've got some, oh my God, I must have 10 different sets of speakers. This is not the time or place for it right now, but anyway, I'll break down some of my equipment and I'm going to explain to people how they can get by a minimum price and get a turntable, a decent 2-channel receiver, and a really good pair of speakers. And you don't need big-ass tower speakers. There's actually some bookshelf speakers that you can do that kind of crap with. It'll just sound amazing for the people that just want to listen to some music. Okay, I like dropping that needle into the groove on my vinyl and just zoning out everything and just listening to some music, And I also like throwing on streaming music and doing 1,000 other things around the house while it's playing. But I do like some critical listening where I'm putting on an album just to hear that album. Okay, enough of that. Content coming. Channel, please. Like, subscribe. I need some people. And on that note, I am going to end this stream. Again, thank you all in chat, man. You guys rock. You made it a lot easier for me because I really stumbled into this whole little mini podcast that I was doing with just myself. And wow, it was pretty ugly in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then the rest of the time, it's been amazing. So thanks everyone that come into the chat. And we will see you next week on Mads Gaming's Next Gen podcast. That's going to be over on Mads' channel. You can catch me every day, Mojo_Blues1 on Twitter. I am the Laserdisc pick of the day guy, by the way, in case people haven't connected that whole thing. That's heard me on Mad Show or on one of Boom's shows or yeah. If you follow me on Twitter, I do the Laserdisc pick of the day. It's pretty cool. Don't get a whole lot of traction, but it's picking up. It's just cool. It's just a picture of the Laserdisc cover, but man, those things are awesome. And it's not about the dead format. It's about my celebration of movies and to put ideals in people's heads about, wow, yeah, maybe I'll let's watch that. Let's see if we can find that on Netflix or if it's on Amazon Prime or if it's on Hulu or HBO or wherever they can find it. I have not hundreds. I got thousands of movies in between Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K UHDs. I've got a massive collection. And you know what? And there are plenty of people that have way bigger collections than me. So it ain't about that. It's about really cool movies. And I just want to get that out there. And the movie community on Twitter, by the way, are full of just wonderful people. Total sweethearts. There's no vile scumbag pony fucks like you get on Twitter and YouTube and the gaming community. And I know there's great people in the gaming community too. Don't get me wrong. Wonderful. But there's still that toxic element that's there. Okay, there just is. We all know it. And it's on for every console. There's bad Xbox people, bad Nintendo people, a whole lot of bad Sony people. That's where the majority of the toxic crap comes from, is from Sony. But hey, you don't get that crap in the movie community, by the way. It's wonderful. And I've really enjoyed that. Having a lot of movie subscribers, and I subscribe to them, and it's just people tweeting about cool movies. Hey, especially horror movies. Oh man, So I said I was going to end the stream, and I didn't. I kept on. Yada, 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 yada. I love to talk about gaming and movies. Channel's going to grow. So anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, stream over. Thanks.